Ryan Miller stood at the window of the spaceship and looked at the planet below. The blue and purple swirls of Zalax Prime grew larger as they approached. After 5 years in the Earth Diplomatic Corps, this was his first major assignment. Make contact with the Zalaxians and secure a trade agreement. Simple enough on paper, the reality made his stomach twist. "Nervous, Captain?" asked Commander Diane Foster as she joined him at the viewport. Ryan straightened his uniform. "Just thinking about everything that could go wrong." "That's why they picked you," she said. "You always plan for the worst while hoping for the best." The ship entered the atmosphere with a gentle rumble. Ryan watched as the alien landscape came into view. Tall crystal towers reached up from the ground like giant fingers pointing to the sky. The buildings caught the light of 2 suns and broke it into thousands of colors. "It's beautiful," Ryan whispered. "Don't forget they're also 200 years ahead of us in technology," Diane reminded him. "Our scans show weapons that could turn our ship to dust." "Keep that in mind during your talks," Ryan nodded. Earth needed this alliance. Humans had only recently figured out faster-than-light travel, while the Zalaxians had been crossing the stars. For centuries, when the ship landed, a group of tall, slender aliens waited on the platform. Their skin looked like clear glass with swirling colors moving beneath the surface. Ryan took a deep breath and led his team down the ramp. A Zalaxian with blue and gold swirls stepped forward. "Captain Miller of Earth, I am Royal Advisor Kex. Welcome to Zalax Prime." Ryan bowed slightly. "Thank you for your welcome. We come in peace and friendship." Kex's skin rippled with yellow light. "The royal family awaits you in the Grand Hall. Please follow me." The walk through the Crystal City left Ryan speechless. Zalaxians moved with a flowing grace, their transparent bodies catching and reflecting light. Some flew above using what looked like wings made of pure energy. The palace was the largest structure Ryan had ever seen. It rose at least a mile into the sky, its many facets turning sunlight into rainbows that danced across the ground. Inside, the walls were lined with what looked like liquid metal that moved and shifted, showing scenes from across the planet. Guards with crystalline armor stood at attention, their weapons humming with power Ryan could feel from several feet away. "The king and princes will see you now," Kex announced as massive doors slid open without a sound. The throne room stretched farther than Ryan could see. The ceiling was open to the sky, and floating platforms carried Zalaxians to different levels. At the center, on a raised platform, sat King Zareth. His skin was deep purple with streaks of silver. Next to him stood a smaller Zalaxian with pink and white swirls beneath her clear skin. "Princess Zara," Kex announced, pointing to the younger. Royal. Ryan approached and bowed deeply. "Your Majesty, Your Highness, I bring greetings from Earth." The king's voice sounded like chimes in the wind. "Rise, human. We have watched your kind for some time. Your rapid growth interests us." Princess Zara stepped closer, her eyes, pools of shifting light, studied Ryan with open curiosity. "Is it true humans have over 200 nations on one planet? How do you not destroy each other?" Ryan smiled. "We've come close a few times, Your Highness. But we're learning to work together." "Fascinating," she said. Her skin rippled with colors Ryan hadn't seen before. He wondered if it was their way of showing emotion. The meeting went well. King Zareth seemed interested in Earth art and music, while Princess Zara asked endless questions about human history and culture. By evening, Ryan felt hopeful about the alliance. The Zalaxians prepared a feast with food safe for humans. Strange fruits that changed flavor with each bite. Clear drinks that bubbled and sparkled. "Tomorrow we will show you our science academies," Princess Zara told Ryan as they ate. "I think you'll find our energy technology most useful for Earth." Ryan was about to respond when a loud boom shook the room. The liquid metal walls rippled and turned red. "Intruders!" shouted a guard as he rushed to the king. "Separatists have breached the outer defenses." Ryan turned to Diane. "Get our team back to the ship." He activated his emergency beacon, calling for his security detail. More explosions rocked the palace. Pieces of crystal fell from the ceiling. Chaos erupted as guards rushed to protect the royal family. "This way, Your Majesty." shouted Kex, leading the king toward a hidden door. Ryan saw Princess Zara get separated from her father in the confusion. Then he spotted figures with black, crystal armor entering the hall. One raised a weapon aimed directly at the princess. Without thinking, Ryan sprinted across the room and tackled Zara to the ground. Energy blasts sizzled through the air where she had been standing. They slid behind a fallen column. "Are you hurt?" he asked. She looked at him with wide eyes. "No, but we must reach the royal safe room." More blasts hit their cover. Ryan peeked around and counted at least 12 attackers. His security team was nowhere in sight. "Where is this safe room?" he asked. "Through the gardens, then down to the lower levels," she said, "but the path is exposed." Ryan checked his sidearm, a simple laser pistol that looked like a toy compared to the Zalaxian weapons. It was better than nothing. "Stay close to me," he told her. They waited for a pause in the attack, then Ryan led her along the wall, keeping low. They reached a side door that opened to the gardens. Outside, the twin moons of Zalax Prime cast silver light on crystal plants that chimed softly in the night breeze. "This way," Zara whispered, guiding him toward a path lined with glowing stones. They had only gone a few steps when a separatist stepped out from behind a tall crystal tree. His weapon hummed as it charged. Ryan fired first. His shot hit the attacker's shoulder, spinning him around. The alien's return fire went wide but struck Zara in her side. She fell with a cry of pain, her clear skin turning cloudy where she was. Hit. Ryan fired again, dropping the separatist. He rushed to Zara's side. "I can't move properly," she gasped. The colors beneath her skin were fading. Ryan scooped her up. She weighed surprisingly little. "Just tell me where to go." For hours, they played a deadly game of hide and seek through the palace grounds. More separatists had surrounded the building, cutting off escape to Ryan's ship. Zara's wound grew worse, her skin becoming more cloudy. They finally reached a hidden entrance to the safe room, but found it guarded by 3 separatists. Ryan set Zara down behind cover. "I need a distraction," he whispered. Zara pressed her hand to a nearby crystal plant. It began to glow brighter, then suddenly flashed with blinding light. Ryan used the moment to attack, taking down the 3 guards with quick shots. He helped Zara through the door and sealed it behind them. Inside, medical devices lined the walls, but Ryan had no idea how to use them. "Tell me what to do," he said. Zara weakly pointed to a floating orb. "Bring it here." Ryan placed the orb over her wound. It pulsed with energy, slowly restoring the clarity to her skin. "Why are they attacking?" Ryan asked. "They believe contact with other species will weaken us," she explained. "They want to keep Zalax pure." All night, Ryan defended their position. As separatists tried to break through, he used human tactics the Zalaxians had never seen, setting traps and creating diversions. When his weapon ran out of power, he fought hand-to-hand. Surprising the attackers with Earth fighting styles. By morning, royal forces finally secured the palace. When the door opened, King Zareth himself stood there with guards and medical teams. The king rushed to his daughter. "Zara, you're alive!" She looked up at Ryan, her colors now bright and vibrant again. "Because of him, father. He saved me." The king turned to Ryan, who was battered, bleeding, and exhausted. "You have protected the future of our empire, human." Ryan smiled weakly. "Just doing my job, your majesty." "No," said the king, his voice serious. "You have done far more than that. You have created a sacred bond." Ryan didn't understand the look that passed between father and daughter, or why all the Zalaxians in the room suddenly became very still. He would soon learn that saving a royal's life meant far more to Zalaxians than he could possibly imagine. Ryan woke up in a strange room. The walls seemed to be made of flowing crystal that changed colors slowly. He tried to sit up but felt a sharp pain in his side. Looking down, he saw bandages wrapped around his chest. "Please don't move too quickly," said a soft voice. Ryan turned to see Ambassador Lavra Davis sitting next to his bed. Her usually neat uniform looked wrinkled, as if she had been there all night. "What happened?" Ryan asked. "How long was I out?" 2 days, Lavara said. "You had 3 broken ribs and a lot of cuts." The Zalaxian doctors fixed most of it, but they said you need rest. Memories came back to Ryan in flashes, the attack. Running through the palace with Princess Zara, fighting off the separatists. "The princess, is she okay?" he asked. Lavar nodded. "She's fine, thanks to you. The whole royal family is grateful, but. She stopped, looking uncomfortable. "But what?" Ryan asked. Before Lavra could answer, the door slid open. King Zareth entered, his purple and silver skin glowing brightly. Princess Zara followed behind him. Along with several Zalaxian officials Ryan didn't recognize, Ryan tried to stand up to show respect, but the king gestured for him to stay down. "Captain Miller," King Zareth said. "We are pleased to see you recovering. Thank you, Your Majesty," Ryan replied. "I'm glad the princess is safe." The king's skin rippled with blue lights. "More than safe. You have done something that has not happened in 300 years. A human has created a sacred bond with Zalaxian royalty." Ryan looked at Lavra for explanation, but she seemed just as confused. Princess Zara stepped forward. "When someone saves the life of a royal family member by risking their own, our biology creates a special connection. It is called the sacred bond." "I was just doing my duty," Ryan said. The king made a sound like wind chimes. "Perhaps to you. But to us it means much more. The sacred bond must be honored according to our oldest laws." An older Zalaxian with white swirls under his skin moved forward. "I am High Priest Vex. The sacred bond is a blessing from our ancestors. It means you and Princess Zara are now bound together for life." Ryan felt his mouth go dry. "Bound? How?" "Exactly," Lavar suddenly understood. She turned pale. "Captain Miller," she whispered, "I think they're talking about marriage." The room went silent. Ryan looked at Zara, who was watching him carefully, her colors shifting rapidly beneath her. Clear skin. "There must be some mistake," Ryan said. "I'm honored, but I'm just a human. I was doing my job as a diplomat." High Priest Vex shook his head. "The sacred bond does not recognize species or duty. It is already forming between you." "Have you not felt strange sensations since the rescue? Dreams of crystal? Feelings that are not your own?" Ryan remembered the odd dreams he'd had while unconscious. Crystal forests flying through purple skies. Emotions he couldn't explain. "That was real?" he asked. Zara nodded. "The bond has begun. I too have dreamed of Earth, of oceans and forests." "I have never seen," Ambassador Lavra stood up. "Your Majesty, while we respect your customs, this is a very serious matter for Earth diplomacy. Captain Miller isn't authorized to enter into any binding agreements without approval from Earth government." King Zareth's colors darkened. "This is not a diplomatic agreement, Ambassador. This is sacred law. To deny the bond would be the greatest insult possible to our people." One of the officials stepped forward. "If the sacred bond is rejected, all negotiations between our worlds must end. It would be seen as humans rejecting our deepest values." Lavra looked like she might faint. 5 years of work to open relations with the technologically advanced Zalaxians could be ruined in an instant. "Perhaps," said Princess Zara, "we could give Captain Miller time to understand our customs. And I would like to learn more about human traditions as well." The king considered this. 2 weeks. We will have a formal ceremony then." After the royal family left, Lavra paced around the room. "This is a disaster. Earth Command will never approve this, but we can't afford to insult them either." Ryan stared at the ceiling. What exactly would this bond mean? Would I have to live here permanently? Lavra shook her head. "I don't know. I'm sending an emergency message to Earth right now. Don't agree to anything until we get instructions." Over the next few days, Ryan began to recover. Zalaxian healers visit him daily, using strange devices that sped up his healing. Each time they touched him, he felt a tingling sensation that seemed to connect to something deep inside him. Princess Zara visited too. She brought books about Zalaxian history and sat with Ryan for hours, answering his questions. "What does the bond feel like to you?" Ryan asked her during one visit. Zara's colors shifted to a soft pink. "It is like having a new sense. I can feel your emotions sometimes, especially when they are strong." When you dream, I see flashes of your world. Is it always like this? Do all bonded pairs share thoughts? No, she said. Each bond is unique. Ours is unusual because we are different species. The priests say it may develop in ways we cannot predict. Ryan learned that the sacred bond was more than marriage. It was a biological connection that the Xylaxians believed was guided by fate. In their history, bonded pairs had shown special abilities and often brought great changes to their society. One morning, Ryan woke up feeling strong enough to walk. He found a garden area near his room and sat watching the strange crystal plants. As he relaxed, he felt a warm presence in his mind. "You're feeling better," said Princess Zara, walking into the garden a moment later. Ryan jumped. "How did you know I was here?" "I felt your calmness," she said simply. The bond grows stronger. Messages from Earth finally arrived. Ambassador Laval looked grim as she read them to Ryan. Earth Command is split. Some see this as a great opportunity, having a human married into the royal family of the most advanced species we've met. Others fear you'll become a hostage or puppet. "What do they want me to do?" Ryan asked. "They want you to delay as long as possible while they send more diplomats," Lavra said. "But they also don't want you to reject the bond outright. It's a mess." Ryan watched the flying creature hover near a crystal flower. "And what about what I want? Does anyone care about that?" Lavra looked sympathetic. "I'm sorry, Ryan, but this is bigger than any one person now. It's about the future of Earth's position in the galaxy." That evening, a commotion outside drew Ryan to his window. A large group of Xylaxians had gathered, holding glowing symbols. Guards kept them away from the palace. Dutter appeared at his door. "Separatists," she explained. "They're protesting the bond. They believe mixing with humans will weaken our species." "Are we in danger?" Ryan asked. "Not here," she said. "But their numbers grow. Their leader was once my father's chief scientist. He believes human DNA is incompatible with our crystal biology and will destroy us." Ryan watched the protesters. Maybe they're right. Maybe this bond is a mistake. Zara moved closer to him. Her hand almost touched his, but stopped just short. "Do you believe that?" "I don't know what to believe anymore," Ryan said honestly. "Then perhaps," Zara said, her colors turning a deep blue, "we should find out for ourselves, away from politicians and priests telling us what the bond should be." Ryan looked at her in surprise. "What are you suggesting?" "There is a place," she said quietly, "where both humans and Xylaxians live together, a trading outpost far from here. We could go there, learn more about each other without all this pressure." "You mean ... run away?" Ryan asked. "I mean make our own choice," Zara said. "Isn't that what humans value most? Freedom to choose?" Ryan thought about Earth's demands, the king's expectations, and the growing protests. Then he looked at Zara, whose colors now pulsed with excitement and hope. "When do we leave?" he asked. Leaving the palace was easier than Ryan expected. Princess Zara knew all the secret passages, and the guards were loyal to her. Before dawn, they slipped onto a small transport ship. Zara wore a cloak that hid her royal markings, making her look like an ordinary Xylaxian. "Won't your father send people to find us?" Ryan asked as they took off. Zara's skin rippled with light blue patterns. "Yes, but not right away. I left a message saying I was taking you to visit the sacred pools. It should give us 2 days before anyone realizes we're gone." Ryan watched through the viewport as Xylax Prime grew smaller behind them. "I'm going to be in so much trouble with Earth Command. Are you having second thoughts?" Zara asked. Ryan thought about it, then shook his head. "No, they were all making decisions about my life without asking me. I need to understand this bond for myself." The ship jumped to light speed, stars stretching into lines around them. Ryan felt a strange pulling sensation in his chest and saw Zara put her hand over her heart at the same moment. "You felt that too?" he asked. She nodded. "The bond stretches when we travel faster than light." The priest said this might happen. "Does it hurt you?" Ryan asked, concerned. "No, it's just ... friend." She came to sit beside him. The trading outpost is called Haven. It was built 50 years ago when we first contacted other species. Some Zalaxians chose to live among aliens against the wishes of traditionalists, like the separatists who attacked the palace. Ryan asked, double quotes, yes, they believe our species should remain pure. Zara's colors darkened. My father doesn't agree with them, but he still wants to control how we interact with other species. They traveled for 6 hours before the ship dropped out of light speed. A small planet with rings orbited a distant sun. Around it, dozens of ships moved like fish in a pond. That's Haven, Zara said, home to 7 different species. As they approached, Ryan saw a space station built into an asteroid. Ships docked all around it, and lights blinked from thousands of windows. It's beautiful, Ryan said. They docked at a small bay and stepped out into the busy station. Ryan had never seen so many different aliens in one place. Tall, furry creatures walked past floating balls of gas. Small, 6-legged beings scurried along the ceiling. And among them all, humans and Zalaxians shopped, talked, and worked together. Zara led Ryan through the crowd to a quiet area with small living quarters. My mother used to visit here. She kept this place for when she needed to escape royal duties. Inside, the room was simple but comfortable. Plants that looked like sea coral grew from the walls, giving off soft light. No one will look for us here, Zara said. We can take time to learn about each other without pressure. Ryan sat down, suddenly feeling the weight of what they'd done. Ambassador Lavra must be freaking out by now, and your father... They'll survive, Zara said firmly. This is our life, our bond. They spent the next day exploring Haven. Ryan was amazed at how the different species had created a community together. In one area, a market sold foods from a dozen worlds. In another, artists from different planets worked side by side. This is what I've always wanted for Zalax, Zara told him. To be part of the wider universe, not hiding behind our technology. They found a quiet spot in a garden area where plants from many worlds grew together. As they sat, Ryan noticed something strange. When he looked at certain plants, he knew their names without being told. Lumina Fern, he said, pointing to a glowing blue plant. From the moons of Zalax, Zara stared at him. How did you know that? Ryan shook his head. I don't know. The name just came to me. It's the bond, she said excitedly. You're accessing my knowledge. She pointed to a red flower. What about that one? Ryan concentrated. Nothing. I don't know it. Neither do I, Zara said. So you can only know things that I know. They spent hours testing this new ability. Ryan could identify Zalaxian plants, knew basic words in their language, and even recognized the names of some royal officials. But the knowledge was limited to things Zara was very familiar with. Can you access my knowledge? Ryan asked. Zara closed her eyes. I see water, lots of water. An ocean, and a small house near it, people sitting on a deck. Ryan felt a chill. That's my parents' home in Oregon. On Earth, as the day went on, they discovered more effects of the bond when they were close. They could sense each other's strong emotions. If they concentrated, they could even send simple feelings to each other on purpose. The priests never mentioned this, Zara said. Most bonded pairs are both Zalaxian. Perhaps human and Zalaxian biology creates something new. That evening, they found a small restaurant run by a mixed couple, a human man and a blue-skinned alien woman. You two are new here, the man said as he served them food. Just visiting? Something like that, Ryan replied. How long have you been on Haven? 10 years, the man said proudly. Best decision I ever made. Met my wife during a trade mission. The officials on both our worlds said we couldn't be together. So we came here instead, and you're happy? Zara asked. The man smiled. Never been happier. Sure, we're different, but that makes life interesting. As they ate, Ryan noticed a group of Zalaxians watching them from across the room. Their skin patterns were different from Zara's, darker with sharp edges. Don't look now, he whispered. But I think we're being watched. Zara glanced quickly at the group. Her colors paled. Those are separatists. They must have followers here too. They finished their meal quickly and left. As they walked back to their quarters, Ryan felt a sense of danger. The feeling was so strong that he pulled Zara into a side corridor just as something hit the wall where they had been standing. "They're attacking us," Ryan said. 3 separatists blocked the path ahead while 2 more appeared behind them. They held weapons that glowed with energy. "The princess must be purified," one of them said. "The human has contaminated her." Ryan looked around desperately. There was a small maintenance door to their right. He grabbed Zara's hand and pulled her through it. They ran through narrow service tunnels, the separatists close behind. Ryan felt Zara's fear through the bond, but also her determination. "This way," she said suddenly, turning down a passage Ryan hadn't noticed. They emerged in a crowded area full of shops and people. Ryan thought they might lose their pursuers in the crowd. But the separatists kept coming. "They won't stop," Zara said. "Not until they've separated us." Ryan had an idea. "Can you send emotions through the bond on purpose? Not just to me, but outward?" Zara nodded. "I think so, but it would affect everyone nearby." "Do it," Ryan said. "Send fear, as strongly as you can." Zara closed her eyes. Ryan felt a wave of terror wash over him, but he was ready for it. The crowd around them wasn't. People began to panic, running in all directions. In the chaos, they lost the separatists. They made it back to their quarters and locked the door. "How did they find us?" Ryan asked. Zara's colors were pale with exhaustion. "I don't know. But they'll keep looking. We're not safe here anymore." Ryan sat beside her. "Then we need to make a decision." "We can't keep running forever." Zara looked at him. "What are you thinking?" "Maybe it's time to stop hiding," Ryan said, "to face this together. Go back to Zalax and show them what this bond really means." Zara was quiet for a long moment. "You would do that? Go back knowing what it might mean for your future?" Ryan took her hand. When their skin touched, the bond flared between them like a warm current. "I think this is bigger than just us now. There's something happening here that both our worlds need to understand." Through the bond, he felt her agreement. And something else, a feeling he couldn't quite name, but that made the decision feel right. "Tomorrow," she said. "We'll go back tomorrow." The journey back to Zalax Prime was tense. Ryan and Zara took a different ship, one used for cargo rather than passengers. They hid among containers of trading goods, hoping no one would search too carefully. "What will happen when we return?" Ryan asked as they sat in the small space between boxes. Zara's colors shifted to a thoughtful blue. "My father will be angry, but he won't show it in public. The council will want to continue with the sacred bond ceremony right away." "And what do you want?" Ryan asked softly. Zara looked at him. "I want to show them that the bond is already working, that it's creating something new and important." Ryan nodded. During their time on Haven, the bond had grown stronger. Now they could sense each other's feelings easily and sometimes even catch glimpses of each other's thoughts. Ryan had started to see flashes of color under his skin when his emotions were strong, like a human version of Zalaxian color changes. "Do you think they'll listen?" he asked. "They might not have a choice," Zara said. "Look," she held out her hand. Ryan put his hand next to hers, not quite touching. A soft glow appeared between them, connecting their palms with threads of light. "That's new," Ryan said in surprise. "The bond is changing us," Zara said. "We need to understand it before it goes too far." When they reached Zalax Prime, they decided not to sneak back into the palace. Instead, they landed at the main spaceport and walked openly toward the royal city. It didn't take long for royal guards to spot them. "Princess Zara." The captain of the guard rushed forward with his team. "We've been searching everywhere for you." Zara stood tall. "I have returned of my own choice, Captain. Please inform my father that Captain Miller and I will meet with him in the Grand Hall." The guards looked confused but followed her orders. They escorted Ryan and Zara through the city. People stopped to stare at them. News of their disappearance had clearly spread. At the palace entrance, they found Ambassador Lover waiting. Her face showed both relief and anger. Captain Miller, she said stiffly. Earth Command has been trying to contact you for 3 days. I know, Ryan replied. I'm sorry for the trouble, but we needed time to understand what's happening to us. Lavara lowered her voice. Do you have any idea what you've done? Running off with an alien princess? This could have started a war. It still might, Zara said. But not the kind you're thinking of. They walked past Lavara into the palace. The grand hall was already filled with people. King Zareth sat on his throne, his colors dark and stormy. Royal advisors stood nearby. Along with High Priest Vex, on the other side of the room stood a group of Earth diplomats who had arrived during Ryan's absence. So, King Zareth's voice echoed through the hall, you have decided to return. Yes, Father, Zara stepped forward. We needed to learn about the bond without interference. One of the Earth diplomats stepped forward. Captain Miller, you violated direct orders and created a serious diplomatic incident. You'll be returning to Earth immediately for... No, Ryan interrupted. I won't be going anywhere yet. The diplomat looked shocked. You don't have a choice in this matter. Actually, he does, Zara said. The bond gives him rights under Zalaxian law. High Priest Vex moved closer, studying them both. The bond has progressed quickly. I can see its energy between you. It's more than just energy, Ryan said. Show them, Zara. They stood facing each other and concentrated. The bond flared visibly, creating a web of light that connected them. Ryan felt his skin begin to glow faintly, like a dim version of Zalaxian color changes. Gasps filled the room. The priest stepped back in shock. Impossible, he whispered. A human body cannot show Zalaxian traits. The bond is changing us both, Zara explained. We can share thoughts, feelings, even physical characteristics. King Zareth rose from his throne. What does this mean, Vex? Nothing in our history speaks of such a bond. Before the priest could answer, the doors to the grand hall burst open. A group of separatists stormed in, led by a tall Zalaxian with black and red swirls under his skin. This abomination must end, the leader shouted. The human corrupts our royal blood. Royal guards rushed to stop them, but the separatists had weapons. A fight broke out in the hall. People ran for cover as energy blasts hit the crystal walls. Ryan pulled Zara behind a column. That's the scientist you mentioned? The leader of the separatists? Yes, Zara said. Dr. Nex. He was once my teacher. Ryan watched as the guards struggled to contain the attackers. Something felt wrong. This is too easy, he said. They must know they can't win against the royal guards. Zara's color shifted to alarmed yellow. You're right, this is a distraction. Just then, Ryan felt a surge of danger through the bond. He spun around to see Dr. Nex behind them, a small device in his hand. The bond can be broken, Nex said coldly. Cut the connection. Save the princes. I've studied it for years. Don't! Zara stepped in front of Ryan. You don't understand what you're doing. I understand perfectly, Nex replied. Humans are changing us, making us weak. Ryan felt Zara's fear through the bond, but also her determination. Without thinking, he reached for her hand. When they touched, the bond flared brightly. Nex raised his device and fired. A beam of energy hit the space between Ryan and Zara. Instead of breaking their connection, the energy seemed to be absorbed by the bond itself. Ryan felt a surge of power flow through him. Images flashed in his mind, memories that weren't his, knowledge he'd never learned. He could see Nex's plan clearly. The device was designed to sever the bond by creating an energy barrier between them. But the bond had grown too strong. It won't work, Ryan said. The bond isn't just between us anymore. It's changing into something new. Nex's colors paled. That's not possible. My calculations were based on normal bonds between Zalaxians, Zara finished. This is different. Ryan felt a new ability forming in his mind. Using the bond, he could channel energy just like Zalaxians did. He raised his hand, and a pulse of force pushed Nex backward. The scientist fell to the ground, staring at Ryan in shock. What are you, still human? Ryan said. But connected to something bigger now. The guards had subdued the other separatists. King Zareth approached slowly, watching Ryan with new interest. The ancient texts? High Priest Vex said quietly. They spoke of a time when our people would meet beings from beyond the stars, when the sacred bond would create a bridge between worlds. You knew this might happen? The king asked. It was just a legend, Vex replied. No one believed it was possible, Ambassador Lavra pushed through the crowd. What exactly is happening here? Ryan looked at her. Something that both our worlds need to understand. The bond isn't just connecting Zara and me. It's showing us what's possible when different species truly join together. King Zareth studied them both for a long moment. The ceremony will proceed, he announced, but not as we planned. This bond must be studied, understood. It could change everything. As the guards took next away, Ryan turned to Zara. Through the bond, he could feel her mix of emotions, relief, excitement, and something deeper that was growing between them. Are you ready for this? He asked. Zara's colors shifted to a warm purple. We don't have much choice now. The bond has already decided, Ryan smiled. I think we still have some say in how the story ends. The week before the ceremony was busy. Scientists from both Earth and Zalax studied Ryan and Zara every day. They took samples, ran tests, and asked endless questions about the bond. Have you experienced any pain? Asked a human doctor as she checked Ryan's vital signs. No, Ryan said. Just a warm feeling when the bond is active. A Zalaxian scientist studied the readings on his device. The human cells are changing at a molecular level. They now contain trace elements of crystal. Similar to our biology, Ambassador Lavra frowned. Is it dangerous? We don't think so, the scientist replied. The changes appear stable, and Princess Zara is showing similar adaptations toward human biology. When they weren't being studied, Ryan and Zara spent time in the palace gardens. Their connection grew stronger each day. Now they could share not just feelings but complete thoughts when they touched. What will happen after the ceremony? Ryan asked as they sat beside a pool of glowing water. Zara's colors shifted to a thoughtful blue. Traditionally, bonded pairs serve as advisors to the throne, but our case is different. Earth still wants me to come home, Ryan said. They're talking about making me an ambassador. Zara touched his hand lightly. Through the bond, he felt her concern about being separated. We'll find a way, he promised. The bond works across distance, remember? They had tested this during their examinations. Even when placed in separate rooms, they could still sense each other's presence and strong emotions. The night before the ceremony, King Zareth invited Ryan to his private chambers. The room was filled with ancient crystals that hummed with energy. My daughter has changed since meeting you, the king said. Her colors show new patterns I've never seen before. I've changed too, Ryan replied. The bond is teaching us both. The king studied him. When you first arrived, I saw only a simple human diplomat. Now I see something more. I'm still the same person, Ryan said. Are you? The king gestured. To a mirror, Ryan looked at his reflection. Faint traces of color moved beneath his skin when he concentrated. His eyes had tiny flecks of crystal in them that caught the light. The ancient texts speak of change, the king said. Not just for individuals, but for entire species. The first bond between different worlds marks the beginning of a new path. Is that why the separatists fear it so much? Ryan asked. Yes, change frightens those who cling to the past. The king turned to face Ryan directly. Tomorrow's ceremony will be watched by billions across many worlds. What happens will shape the future of both our peoples. Ryan felt the weight of those words as he returned to his room. Through the bond, he sensed Zara was still awake, thinking about tomorrow too. The ceremony day arrived with 3 suns visible in the Zalaxian sky, a rare alignment considered highly lucky. The Grand Temple was filled with people from both worlds. Earth had sent its highest officials. Zalaxian noble families stood in their finest attire. Even representatives from other alien species had come to witness the historic event. Ryan wore a special suit designed to honor both human and Zalaxian traditions. It looked like formal Earth diplomatic wear, but was made from materials that reflected light like Salaxian skin. High Priest Vex met Ryan at the temple entrance. "Are you prepared?" he asked. "As much as I can be," Ryan replied honestly. "The bond will reach completion today," Vex said. "When it does, be ready. The energy can be ... overwhelming." Inside, the temple dome was open to the sky. Crystal pillars created patterns of light across the floor. In the center stood a platform surrounded by a ring of glowing energy. Zara waited there. Her skin shimmered with colors Ryan had never seen before, beautiful patterns that shifted and flowed. When she saw him, her colors brightened with joy. Ryan walked toward her as music filled the air. The crowd fell silent, watching. He could feel hundreds of eyes on him, but all he saw was Zara. He stepped onto the platform beside her. Through the bond, he felt her excitement and nervousness matching his own. High Priest Vex began the ceremony, speaking in both Salaxian and English. "Today we witness the sacred bond between worlds, foretold in our oldest texts. When life is saved, life is connected. When worlds meet, worlds change." King Zareth stepped forward carrying a crystal that glowed with inner fire. "This harmony crystal has been in our royal family since the first days of our civilization. It will help complete the bond." The king placed the crystal between Ryan and Zara. It floated in the air, spinning slowly. "Join hands," Vex instructed. Ryan and Zara reached for each other. When their fingers touched, the bond flared visibly, creating webs of light that connected them. The floating crystal began to pulse in rhythm with the light. "The bond seeks completion," Vex announced. "Open yourselves to it fully." Ryan looked into Zara's eyes. Through the bond, he sent a simple message. "I'm ready," her colors answered. "So, am I?" They closed their eyes and focused on the connection between them. The bond surged with power. Ryan felt as if he was falling into an ocean of light and sensation. He could see Zara's memories, feel her thoughts, know her completely, and then something unexpected happened. The bond didn't just connect them more. Deeply, it expanded outward. Ryan opened his eyes in shock. Around them, a dome of energy had formed. It was growing, reaching out to touch everyone in the temple. "What's happening?" he asked. Zara looked equally surprised. "The bondits including others?" As the energy touched the crowd, gasps filled the air. Humans and Zalaxians stared at each other in wonder. For a brief moment, everyone could feel what Ryan and Zara experienced, the connection between different species, the understanding that went beyond words. Even Ambassador Laura's stern face softened as the energy passed through her. King Zareth's colors shifted to a bright gold of amazement. The moment lasted only seconds before the energy dome faded, but its effect remained. People looked at each other differently, with new understanding. High Priest Vex's voice shook with emotion. "The prophecy is fulfilled. The bridge between worlds has opened." After the ceremony, celebrations lasted for days. News spread across both planets about what had happened. Scientists wanted to study this new phenomenon. Leaders wanted to discuss its implications, but Ryan and Zara took time for themselves first. They stood on a balcony overlooking the Crystal City, watching the three suns set. "So what happens now?" Ryan asked. "I'm still human, mostly." "You're still Zalaxian, mostly." Zara's colors showed amusement. "We learned to live between worlds, just like we always would have." "Earth wants me to be their ambassador here," Ryan said, "and to study the bond effects. And my father wants us to visit other worlds," Zara added, "to show what's possible when different species truly connect." Ryan looked at the stars appearing in the darkening sky. Each one might hold new worlds, new species to meet. The bond had changed him, given him abilities no human had before. But more importantly, it had shown what was possible when differences became strengths. "Ready for an adventure?" he asked. Zara's colors swirled with excitement. "Through the bond?" He felt her answer before she spoke. "Always," she said. "As long as we're together," Ryan smiled. What had started as a simple diplomatic mission had changed everything. He had saved a princess's life and found something he never expected. Connection that bridged worlds, a future filled with possibilities, and a bond that would last a lifetime.